Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate is now available for MetaQuest headsets. The game has previously been available for various different VR platforms, where it was very well received. Can the MetaQuest version live up to those previous entries? Stick around and you'll find out.
Or rest in peace.
Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate is an adventure game. It's a linear exploration through a world that has been created for you to journey through. It's an interesting story about time and the environment and all sorts of different aspects to it. Bordering on sci-fi-ish, and it's pretty enjoyable. It's a pretty good story. The story takes you through different time periods and different locales, and you have to piece together what is actually going on through environmental details, through NPCs, lots of different interactions that will happen through the game. And the gameplay itself is actually split into two components. The bulk of the gameplay is pathfinding. You're in this world and there's a clear, obvious endpoint that you need to reach, but how you get there from where you are isn't so obvious. You'll have to explore the areas and journey through climbing and swinging and running through different obstacles and pathways in order to reach your destination.
Another great song. Another 2.5 minutes closer to a new year. You're tuned in to Daydream Radio, your choice to see out 1958. An event.
There is also some puzzle solving involved in this element of the game, some of which is optional, but by and large the puzzles are contained within a single area. You won't often find that there's much tax in about the puzzles. Really the challenge is in that pathfinding. The challenge of the game is about how to plot a route to your destination more than it is logical thinking.
Stage 2 denied. Iris scanner obstructed. Please remove obstruction. Stage 2, iris recognition. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow, I'll miss you. Paul McCartney, lead singer of the Steve Doors.
What? Who is it? Stay at an
This pathfinding, probably think of it best as an Uncharted game or one of the newer Tomb Raiders. You'll find that there are both vertical and horizontal challenges to overcome. You could be swimming and climbing. There's lots of different physical activities to engage in. And just like the aforementioned flat screen games, when you're at the end of a long path of this endurance challenging and you find that you mess up on that last hurdle, it can be incredibly frustrating. This is almost like a platform game in which you, physically, have to engage with the platform in action. So when you fail at that last challenge and have to redo the entire event, you're not just mentally drained like, oh dear, here I have to go again. You are physically drained as well. Every piece of this puzzle is taking endurance from you physically. The second aspect of the game is the combat, and to be frank, I think the game would be better without it. It's very lukewarm and light touch. There are many games in VR that do melee combat pretty well. There's been a lot of progression in the last few years. And Wanderer Fragments of Fate, it simply doesn't keep pace. There's a wide variety of weapons, both melee and ranged, and there are plenty of options at your disposal, be it stealth or aggression. By and large, the combat is, when you see an enemy, you're more disappointed that it's going to take you out of the adventuring for a moment to deal with this enemy than you are, yeah, ready, let's go, let's get into a fight here. A very good example of this is when swinging a weapon, in the fact that it's often hard to tell if the weapon is actually going to do any force. Think of it more like a Wii remote waggling in order to take down enemies, opposed to actual tactical taking the advantage with the weapon that you have. What's more, there is a knife throwing system, which is hilarious. I have recently complained about some games in the auto-lock system that they have the auto-aim built in, and Wanderer takes things to a whole new level. You can be throwing a knife and know that you are completely off target and see it swoop into the enemy. More often than not, into the back of their head. It's kind of like you're throwing magic knives here. It's kind of ridiculous. As we said before, the story of the game is quite intriguing, and the platforming, adventuring, pathfinding, whatever you want to call it, this is pretty high quality stuff. It's very enjoyable, and the longer you go through the game, the difficulty in these challenges ramps up, but at a fairly even pace. Take out the combat, and you've got a really good experience going on here, aside from a few bugs that do exist in the game. As with many games that have been ported down from PC VR to MetaQuest, sadly there are some significant frame rate issues at specific points in the game. I'm sure these are issues that will be overcome quickly, and so we imagine that by the time you're watching this, it probably isn't an issue anymore. But one big bug that we did encounter was early on in the game when you first meet Amelia, who is an NPC who is on your team. Now, should you accidentally kill Amelia, you're going to restart at a checkpoint. This is to be expected. But in an instance that we had of throwing a coffee container at Amelia, it resulted in her death. That's fine, if a bit questionable, but what actually happened was the game locked up, so much so that it soft-locked the entire MetaQuest 3S. The only way to get around this was to force quit the system, shut it down, and restart from the beginning. Certainly an unfortunate issue. We hope that this one gets resolved pretty quickly, because we don't want to see people who are maybe less familiar with the hardware finding that this game is locking up their headset. All in all, Wanderer: The Fragments of Fate is a decent port for the MetaQuest headsets. If you haven't played it already and you're looking for a new kind of adventure game or a story-led game, we recommend you check it out, despite the issues with the combat.